Hello and welcome everyone to this week's Family Bearings. I'm Jared Campbell, your Kids Ministry Director here at Compass Bible Church, Treasure Valley. As we get closer to Camp Compass, I'm going to be throwing a lot of dates at you, but we're in a little bit of a lull right now. We've gotten over some of the bigger humps. We've got a couple more things coming up before Camp Compass. To start with, on May 31st, we're having Graduation Sunday. And so what that looks like is for your kindergartners, when they move up, we're graduating them up to first grade and we're giving them a Bible. As well as for the fifth graders going into sixth grade, we're giving them a study Bible. And so we have those all ready for the 31st. And then June 7th is actual move up Sunday. And so what that means is they're not going to go to their old classes. They're actually going to start going to their new classes. If they were a second grader, they're going to start going to third grade. They get to be with the third through fifth graders here in Pathways, and it's a little bit of a different format. For the fifth graders that are going into sixth grade, they are going to start attending the Grove that night. So they actually won't come to KidsMin anymore. And so they will have graduated and moved on to bigger and better things, exciting things like Ignite, which will be really cool for them. And so if you need more information on things like Ignite or the Grove, or what does this transition look like, please reach out to us. We'll help you walk through some of those different things as we get closer and closer. Now, to this last Sunday, we looked at Philip sharing the gospel with the Ethiopian, so Acts 8, 26 through 40. And we got to see the gospel shared. We got to see as Philip is faithful and shares the gospel with this man from Ethiopia, as well as looking at prophecy and how a lot of what God has done, most of what God has done, is shown to us through prophecy and fulfilled through Christ. And so Philip walks the Ethiopian through that and shares the truth and the good news about who Christ is and what he has done for us. Now, this next weekend, so the 24th, I'm really excited. We get to finally get to Saul being converted in Acts 9. What an incredible story on the road to Damascus as Saul is knocked from his horse and he's blinded, and Jesus is speaking to him and he's calling him to become an apostle. Not just an apostle, one of the apostles that we get most of the New Testament from. And so it's a really exciting lesson. It's a really exciting change. And as we talk about what the gospel is capable of, as we talk about what Christ is capable of through what he's done for us, we get to look at this story and just be excited. As we go into Adventure Club, this week we have graduation. So the 19th and the 21st, we are done with year 3. And so we have gone through ecclesiology, we have gone through angelology and eschatology. And the kids have learned a lot of really cool information. And now we're jumping into year 1, second edition this next year. And so we're excited for that. That'll start in September. More information later on that. So that'll be it for Adventure Club. But then we have the summer series. And this is usually a 4-part series where life groups still meet. We're still having, it's basically the same thing as Adventure Club. We've just changed up what we're learning. And so we're going to be going through a series called When God Spoke, looking at some of those specific times where God has spoken to individuals within the Bible. And we don't just see one characteristic. We don't just see one attribute of God. In fact, we see multiple at the same time. A lot of times we see what could be described as a father talking to a son, the way that God speaks to some of these individuals throughout Scripture. And so it'll be a lot of fun to jump into the nuance of who God is, the complexity of character, as well as just breaking down some of those attributes that we see through the times that he gets involved, that he speaks to his creation. And so that'll be that for the summer series. Registration for Camp Compass is still up, and so we're going to actually end up closing that a week before Camp Compass just to make sure we have all our numbers correct, we have everything ready, not last minute registration. So if you haven't registered, make sure that you register because we are going to close that a week before it starts. And so if you are planning on serving at Camp Compass, please make sure you go to our Camp Compass page. You can get there through the Kids Ministry page, and then sign up to be a volunteer. Reach out if you have any questions. We're here to answer your questions and help you out. But that is it for this week's Family Bearings, and we hope to see you soon.